Emotional intention.
And can you tell me more about that? What do you mean by emotional intention?
What the scene intends, what the scene needs to be, the core of it. And that
Right.
goes with any form of genre, you know, and it's like, you know, you're it's whether it's story or it's something more abstract, it's finding that core.
Was it tough because of the personalities and who was
That
running the
was
film
a
and who was
that
starring in the
was
film?
that was a factor, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I don't necessarily want to
Sure.
publicly speak of that.
No,
But
absolutely.
then there are other things like just like I have a very strong stomach for content. Like some people like a film like Gummo or like kids people say, how did you get through that? It's like I have a very I can distance myself, feel it and distance myself at the same time. Because it's like you might be working on things that you know you obviously would not be doing yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying,
Right.
but you have the distance of art.
And just in general terms, how many hours does it take you to edit a film from start to finish, including all the supervision, the notes? Is there a number?
Hours would be ridiculous to tell.
Right.
Days or months are more reasonable. Generally, a short schedule is like 7 months. Like on A Quiet Place was very fast. We started in like November and we were pushing it out the door to South by Southwest in March. So that was like 6 months, and with these visual effects and stuff. So it was very that was short. But then something like Moneyball was like 14 months, you know, and other films, then sometimes you'll have a film that circumstances will make them last longer too. Like okay, I'll talk about this one. There was a film called Birthday Girl that I did in London, which was written and directed by the playwright Jez Butterworth, and it was with Nicole Kidman and Ben Chaplin. Just before the end of the shoot, like nearly the last days, this was in 1999, Nicole had to shoot a scene, a very key scene, but she had to leave to go to the opening of Eyes Wide Shut, I think it was, and she said, "Oh, we'll catch it up." And we didn't get her for a year. So, and we did previews with we had like five body double hand double shoots that you know just to get through. It was very interesting, and
Yeah.
and Nicole is a lovely person. She's really I have nothing but good things to say about her. But that was the circumstance of that particular thing, which was unusual. So that was like a year and a half.
Wow. So, and then it's a simple question. I have no idea. Do you work? Are you on set? Are you in a
I'm,
trailer on set, or are you?
oh, I have been on set on certain films. I was on set for the Night Shyamalan film, The Village. I was on set for some other things that I'm not thinking of right now. But in general, to be honest with you, I think that I like to have the perspective of not having the baggage of the set. The set is
Mhm.
there's a lot of baggage on the set. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And if I can have the perspective of only what is shot, it's a good perspective to have, especially for the director, because they're going to come with all these the machinations of what went on, and sort of
Mhm.
they become obsessions on the thing. And I once worked on a film where it was like the director just didn't get the cast he actually wanted, but it was a good cast, and he kept wanting them to these actors to be something else. And I had to almost shake him and say, we can't work against the performance. We have to work with the performance. So, you know,
Right.
those are kind of that's where and there's other editors that feel that way too. And then there's some that don't. And then there's some that have relationships with directors where they're very, very present all the time.
Mhm.
It's varied. It's varied. I'm kind of like my particular thing is like I really do like variety, and I like to be discerning about what I do, and do different things, like flip from job to job for different like I it was very interesting to do like the menu like a
Mhm.
and then do Nyad, you know. I mean, it's like there's polar opposites.
Right.
And now I'm you know I'm working on a musical.
And do you have a favorite film that you ever worked on over the 40 films you've edited?
I've edited a lot of really good films. I have a great feeling about that. Like I talk about 90%, which is a high percentage. But I have a lot of, I don't know if you're familiar with a film called Flirting with Disaster.
No.
David O. Russell film from 1996. And it is wonderful. And it has an amazing ensemble cast of Ben Stiller, Patricia Arquette Leone, Richard Jenkins, Mary Tyler Moore, George Siegel, Alan Alda, and Lily Tomlin, and I'm leaving out someone who then became really big, Josh Brolin, and it's so much fun. It's just I'd say it's a comedy that I would suggest to your clients.
Sure.
Living with Disaster.
And it's interesting. That's I have a book called Moving On about the year after divorce. Once you get through a divorce, now what do you do with the rest of your life? And that's dealing with disaster. Do you have any certain way that you get through the tougher parts of your life? What helps you move on to the next thing?
Well, work. I love my work. I really love my work. So it's like that's always there, and I enjoy it very much, and I'm on a level that I can pick and choose. So that's a big help. I think that's for any person. I mean, my feeling is like, if you love what you do, it's a big plus. And it can help you get through a lot. If you don't love what you do, if you hate your job, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
And now I also learned in preparing for today's interview that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I understand your daughter is doing a one-woman show in Brooklyn. Can you tell us about that show?
It's really fantastic. It's called Horny for the End of the World. And it's Tatjana Hendricks Tellefsen. It's at the Brooklyn Center for Theater Research in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is a great venue. There's always doing interesting things there. And Tatjana's show sold out 3 shows, and they're bringing her back every month. And she has a performance a week from tomorrow.
Great. And were you involved at all in the production, or are you just a proud father?
Well, I'm a proud father.
Okay.
My wife and I, we were involved with when she started writing it during like the pandemic when she was staying with us. And so we've been very close to the evolution of the piece. She actually, because no one was doing theater like a couple of years ago, it was really tough. She filmed it. And so there's a film of it, but it is something that needs to be performed. And it just came so to life performing it. And she's, it's exciting. I think she's going to bring it to Edinburgh, and it's going to be. I'm very excited.
Yeah, yeah. And so, tell us about any upcoming projects, or what are you right in the middle of working on that you can tell us about?
Well, I'm in the middle of working on Atlantis. I'm working with the director Michel Gondry. It's for Universal. It's loosely based on the early life of Pharrell Williams, and it's a musical. And it's very beautiful. I'm really enjoying working on it, very much so. And actually, as far as future things, I'm Chai Vasharelli, who I work with on Nyad, is like poking me about another project after this, which would be actually something kind of like, I'd have to check it out. But there's, have you heard of the Globe in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be something there.
Wow. Yeah. I went to a
big.
Yeah, I went to a Grateful Dead concert there. It was so enveloping that I was getting some vertigo. I had to really concentrate on the band to not feel like I was going to fall down.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks so much for painstakingly explaining the editing process from start to finish. I know our viewers are going to find this interesting, and it was an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Happy to do it.